Hello there. This is Mr. Assistant Associate speaking to you with some suggestions on how we can work together to build a larger FIF clientele. To begin with, I'm only as good as you make me. By this, I mean that I can't work for you in the back of your car or in the corner of your office. However, if you'll take me along on your calls, I'll help you do more business and do it easier than you've been accustomed to. The first thing to remember is keep me as clean and neat as you keep yourself. People don't like to see an untidy salesman, nor do they like to see an untidy assistant salesman. It only takes a minute to remove and wipe off my lenses, and a good rub with a clean, dry cloth will take care of the rest of me. Now, let's get down to how we will work together as a team to help more people put FIF in their financial futures. When you're calling for appointments, mention me. I've found that people are always interested in something new. So when you're talking to your prospect, tell him that you have something new, an educational film about investing, a story that will explain to him and his family what investing is and what investing does. Also tell him that it'll take only 25 minutes of the family's time. This is important, for you will find that most people will grant you at least 25 minutes. And the fact that you may stay on another 30 minutes or 3 hours after the presentation will be because your prospect and his family will have been conditioned and motivated to talk with you about their own personal situation, problems, and ambitions. It's your job to help them find the satisfactory solution, and by doing so, you will gain not only a new client, but someone who will recommend you to others, and who will also seek you out when other problems of accumulating wealth come up. Now, let's assume that you have your appointment, and we are now in the prospect's home. Don't run immediately to the nearest table and start setting me up. Instead, sit down and chat a few minutes with the family to renew the acquaintance. But while doing so, be sure to keep me prominently placed so that everyone can see me. This will keep their curiosity aroused and will also provide an opening to the business at hand. If your prospect asks, what's in the case? Tell him that this is what he wanted to see: the story of money, wealth, income, and investing. Then get immediately about finding a suitable table and on with the presentation. In the action that follows, you will notice a relaxation of tension and a feeling of informality as the family goes about helping you set me up. Follow the printed instructions and, as a suggestion, practice setting me up so that it can be done with ease and in a minimum of time. Seat the family facing the screen and yourself on my right. This gives them the best view and puts you right in front of my controls for easy operation. Now you're ready to proceed with the presentation. Oh, a word about lighting. It's not necessary to darken the room. Just make sure no strong light falls directly on my screen. This will wash out and spoil the picture. When the presentation is completed, shut me off and go immediately about re-rolling the film. Don't say a word for about 30 seconds. Give the prospect time to think about what he has just seen, and also time to make any comments, which he will usually do. When you have the film re-rolled and in the can, begin your conversation with, "Mr. Brown, I imagine after seeing and hearing our story, there are two questions uppermost in your mind. First, I need to know what kind of financial future I want for myself and my family. And second, what will be involved in building for this future. Isn't that about right, Mr. Brown?" Well, let him agree, and then go on with, "I'd like to gain the confidence that you have in other professional men, such as your doctor or your lawyer. Now, to do this, I would like to approach your future financial problems and goals the same way that they would approach your physical or legal problem, by first asking questions and recording your answers, then analyzing the findings and recommending a solution. You, of course, will be the sole judge as to whether we do anything about your problem." You are now ready to survey your prospect's circumstances and objectives. Be professional in your work. Then, with this information, you can program a course of action, explaining as you do the nature of the fund and particular type of investment plan you are prescribing. By following these suggestions, you will gain maximum effectiveness in each call. A word now about how I can help you obtain referred leads. When you're ready to leave, say to your prospect, "Mr. Brown, I know from our discussion that you found our film interesting and informative, and I'm sure that you must know some people in circumstances similar to yours that would also be interested in seeing this film. Whom can you think of right now?" Here you have put the emphasis on me. I have found that the thought of bringing something new and interesting to the attention of others will not only get names and addresses of others, but will often bring forth the offer to call someone who ought to see them. Another point to remember is keep the wife in the conversation. Given a chance, a wife can and usually does become the moving factor in determining a forward step in the family's future financial plans. One other thing to keep in mind. I work better with one group at a time. Don't try to get several families together or fill an auditorium. You cannot analyze more than one family's problem at a time, so why try to deal with more than one at a time? Now, get busy and practice with me. Practice setting me up. Practice the questions you're going to ask to establish your prospect's circumstances and objectives. And practice your closing technique until you can adapt it to any situation and deliver it with ability. When you are ready, start making your appointments, and I'll soon show you how much easier we can make this wonderful business of helping people accumulate wealth and build for future income.